Hi, welcome to our lovely yoga class. We're going to begin with setting an intention for today, for the class, for the week, or for the upcoming year. We will reinforce that intention throughout the class many times, as many as we can remember. And it could be really simple as I'm focused, or it could be a little bit more elaborate. I'm inviting you to concentrate on love, and that's very encompassing, of course. So it could be love for yourself, love for others, receive love, give love, or all of the above. So, my suggestion is to set a simple sentence and repeat it 3 times in your head throughout the class in present time. So let's find comfortable sitting position, and hopefully you get some water around you to reach out to it anytime during the class, and feel free to really stop what we're doing and pay attention on what's needed. Do you need water? Do you need more breath? Pay attention to your breath, as it's going to be our focus in the practice to bring us into the present moment. Always notice your breath. If the breath is restricted, that means that maybe you're holding too long in a pose. If the breath is restricted, maybe the pose is a little bit too intense. So back it up a little bit. Always notice the breath, regain it, and then come back to what we were doing. So find a comfortable sitting position. And that could be something, sitting on your feet or on your sitting bones with knees crossed, with legs crossed in front of you, whatever that might be for you. Just want to be comfortable for a minute or two, just to center into the practice. Begin noticing where your breath is. So that intention that you talked about from the beginning of the class, make sure you repeat it 3 times in present time, like so. I am love, I am love, I am love. See if you can deepen the breath a little bit, and we'll attempt as much as we can throughout the practice to move the breath lower to the lower parts of the lungs by concentrating on expanding the belly on inhalation and then moving it gently towards the spine on exhalation. No forcing, just belly breath, like a baby. Think of a baby that doesn't care about its guts sticking up. So baby breathes into the belly, expands the belly forward or up if it's laying down. Inhale and exhale. Begin relaxing your entire body, starting from the skull, feeling a little bit of the tingling and vibration of the circulation going around. Command all your cells to start functioning properly in the best way possible. Relax the forehead, the space between the eyebrows, the jaw, the cheeks, the eye sockets. Relax the throat, the skin around it and inside. Relax the shoulders, back and down. Relax the arms and the hands and the fingers. Relax the chest inside and outside, the abdominal inside and outside. Relax the hips, entire length of the legs, knees and calves, ankles, and feet. Relax the toes, relax the heels and the bottom of the feet. Inhale all the way to the belly, relax the entire body. Exhale. Relax the feet, feel them as they are not part of your body. Relax the legs as though they are not part of your body. Relax the torso and arms, hands, neck and shoulders as though they're not part of your body. Everything relaxes with each out breath, more and more. Begin noticing the soundtrack of the space around you. Tune in into each individual sound. Imagine a place of peacefulness and calmness, a passive place, something that relaxes you. Maybe a mountain top. Looking all around, seeing all the hills around, all the greens and other colors, birds flying around. Hear birds. Breeze is gently patting your cheeks. Smell of freshness. Inhale into the belly, exhale belly towards the spine. Notice the sounds around you again, and at this stage, tuning into these sounds wouldn't be a distraction, would be more focused on the practice. Everything around that's happening is the soundtrack of this one specific moment that had never happened before, never will happen, it's right now. Using the breath always to bring us back into the present moment throughout the practice, just in case we are getting distracted with thoughts about schedules or about what has happened in the past. Just bringing ourselves back into the present moment by using the breath. Is my breath full? Is it all the way down to the belly? Repeat your intention again in your head 3 times. And extend your hands forward right in front of your face. Wiggle the fingers to extend more from the shoulders and try to keep the shoulder blades kind of spaced out, not hinging forward. And then begin rotating the wrists outwards and inwards. The fingers are still wiggling. Breathe fully. Moving the hands up towards the sky and keep wiggling them, extending far away from the sitting bone this time, slightly tucking the tailbone regardless of what kind of a sitting position you are in. So you can extend all the way from the sitting bones to the fingertips. Keep wiggling the fingers as you slightly lean towards the left and then extending the entire right side more. Keep the breath flowing all the way to the bottom of the belly. Then lean towards the right and keep breathing. And back towards the left, keep breathing. And back towards the right, keep breathing. Wiggling the fingers. Neutral and float the hands down. Keep the length of the spine. So in this next one, we will incorporate breath with movement, and we will try to incorporate breath with movement throughout the entire practice, actually. So on inhale, we're gonna move the belly outwards and hands up towards the sky, far away from the sitting bones. Inhale, exhale, float the hands down. Deep inhale, matching breath with movement. So perhaps slow down or speed up either the movement of the hands or the breath. So that way you could go on your own pace, flowing. Inhalation, hands up. Exhalation, hands down. Keeping strong, straight spine. Place the left arm down and elevate to the right, far away from the sitting bones. Lean towards the left, look underneath the right arm. Extending the entire right side and walk the left hand fingertips away from you so you can get more into the stretch. Breathe. Stay there and just listen for a sec. When you exit in a pose, try to inhale and think up or think extending and elongating versus slamming yourself into out of the pose or into the next pose. So inhale, strong straight spine up towards the middle. And we're gonna elevate the left arm and hinge towards the right. Look underneath the left arm. Breathe fully the belly. Begin walking right fingertips away from you so you can extend more the left side. Think a bit again up, back, coming up. Inhale up, and then interlace fingers above your head, and then begin floating them forward as you are spacing out the shoulder blades in between you, and then begin hinging the top part of the spine as you keep strong core and the bottom part of the spine strong, and then tucking the chin towards the chest and breathe. Inhale all the way up, keep interlacing the fingers. Then we're gonna do this a few times. Forward exhale and space out the shoulder blades on the back, tucking the chin towards the chest to incorporate the neck. Inhale up, exhale forward. And when you're ready, exit the pose by thinking up and inhale and find a comfortable sitting position on the sitting bones and hug the knees. Alright, this next one, try to anchor the sitting bones, both of them, on the mat, right underneath you, evenly distributing the weight between left and right. Engage the core and then lift up the feet off of the ground and just hang in there. And then feet on the mat. Place the hands behind you with fingertips pointed forward. And then very slowly begin lifting the hips up into reverse tabletop. So don't go to the full capacity, maybe like 50%. Try to keep the elbows shy of lock and see if you can push the mat away as much as you can with the hands. Keep the hips like floating, not complete table, but a little bit lower, so 50% of what you can really go, right? And lower again, all the way. Sit, both of the sitting bones are distributing the weight evenly between left and right. Hug the knees and then elevate the feet. See if you can maintain the integrity of the breath here. In this one, as we begin to incorporate more and more core into the practice, the breath might become restricted, and what you want to do is really concentrate on it, and sometimes that might mean that you would force it in. So if you have to compromise anything, that would be the depth of the pose or maybe the length of its hold, but definitely not the breath. And then lower again, so hands behind you, fingertips pointed forward. Again, the elbows are always shy of lock when you are on your hands, on your arms, and elevating the hips. So a little bit higher this time. Keep the neck strong, so no collapsing down or just tight forward, but instead keep it straight. Begin moving the chest towards the sky, so push more into the mat with the feet and with the hands. At this point, we're like 85-90% of what we can lift. Keep the breath flowing. Relax the shoulder blades even though they don't wanna. Lowering all the way, sitting down, and at some point, hugging the knees, strong straight spine, elevating the feet. Keep the spine straight. Breathe into the belly. Extend the left leg in front of you, but keep both of the feet off of the mat. And then just hugging the right knee. Breathe. Let's switch, extending the right leg forward and hugging the knee, the left knee. And then hug both of the knees. Try to keep the spine straight. Here is going to try to curve, especially if you have like a bony butt where you are kind of wobbling on the sitting bones. You want to really keep the spine straight and strong core. The use of the core to keep the spine straight is essential for not just all the poses in yoga, but in daily life and every other physical activity really. Always want to have a strong core. Relax the feet on the mat and then straighten the legs in front of you. Hinging from the hips, we're going to move into the direction of the toes. So think nose or face towards the toes and trying to keep the spine straighter here as we're concentrating and stretching the legs first. See if you have to remove any of the meat underneath your sitting bones in order to elongate the legs more. And full breath. Here you can use this, what I like to call microposation, and pose where you are backing up a little bit, inhale, gaining length in the spine, and then exhale, further into the pose. Inhale, gaining length, and exhale towards the toes. Using the arms to kind of push yourself towards the toes, but not to the point where the breath is restricted. You might feel the breath in different places right now, not just expanding the belly, but maybe expanding the sides of the belly and maybe even the back of the lungs. Inhale yourself all the way up, strong straight spine, and get the right foot on top of the left thigh. If that's too difficult, maybe on the inner left thigh. So what we want to do is first making sure that the right foot is not really creating too much tension. Sometimes when it's on the top of the left thigh, will be creating a pressure in the entire right leg. So we want to, while we're straight, as much as possible straight. So if you're not straight, like right now, I'm not the same, I'm super tight. So I'm just gonna use the help of the arms to keep the spine straight, moving towards the left toes. And breathe. Breath is flowing gently all the way in, expands the belly, all the way out. Inhale yourself back to neutral, and then let's extend the right leg forward and the left foot goes on top of the right thigh or on the inner right thigh. First, relax the left leg and left foot. Keep yourself straight with the hands, with the arms. And then moving forward towards the toes. Push a little forward with the arms, pushing the mat away as much as possible. And breathe. Inhale yourself back to neutral and then place the feet together in front of you. Strong straight spine and moving the knees into direction, into the earth. You can choose to hold your feet with the two hands. Hinging from the hips, moving forward. Keep breathing. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward. And I like this other pose with the micro pulse. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward. You can choose to close your eyes and repeat your intention 3 times in your head in present time. Full breaths. At this point, begin curving the spine as you move the head forward and then down. Breathe. Notice any differences between the left and the right side of the rib cage on the back towards your spine.
sending the breath on the backs of the lungs. Inhaling slowly up.
All the way up. And then hands behind you, just towards the sky, and then use the arms to kind of push the mat away. Chin towards the sky. Make sure the elbows are shy of lock, and then see if you can push the mat so much to where you lift the sitting bones as you're still moving the chest towards the sky and the chin towards the sky. And relax, lower all the way down. So place the legs about 80% of what you can, far apart from each other. Then begin hinging from the hips forward with the face. In this one, at first, I like to keep my hands behind me because it keeps my spine straighter versus like if I immediately put them in front, I will begin hinging the spine. So you should too, keeping the spine straight first and really concentrating on not just the inner thighs, but mainly the inner thighs. So for that, you want to keep the spine straighter. Otherwise, the muscles of the legs will definitely start pulling on the little tiny muscles of the spine since legs have bigger muscles and stronger. So, having said that, concentrate on the legs first by keeping the spine straight, hinging from the hips straight forward. And breathe. See if you can flex the feet here. That will change a little bit the stretch. And then point the toes. And then flex the toes. And point the toes. Imagine that an invisible fairy is walking behind you and is pressing right in the middle and between your shoulder blades where it's moving your chest forward while the spine is straight. At some point in the stretch, you might notice differences all the way in between the two hips, left and right. One might be like super tense compared to the other one. Where is the breath? Is it restricted because the stretch is too intense? Oh, if it is, maybe back up a little bit or send full breath. See if you can like force it in all the way down. At this point, we're gonna begin moving the hands forward in front of you somewhere, not like completely stretch forward, but just forward. And see if you can maintain the same straight spine. Full breath. Begin walking the hands forward, forward and away from the sitting bones. Maybe at this point, begin lowering as well, forward and down. So more like diagonally, forward and down versus just down or just forward.
Try to use core muscles to keep yourself really strong and then begin walking the hands towards you, exiting the pose very slowly as you don't want the muscles to snap right back in. Giving the body a chance to respond versus react. Very slowly, you have all the time in the world, and repeat your intention in your head 3 times. Use the arms to collect your legs back together and make a transition into tabletop on hands and knees. Every time we're on the hands, on the arms, on the hands, whatever, you want to keep the elbows always shy of lock, and also specifically when you're on your hands, you want to spread fingertips as much as possible away from each other and then dig them into the surface you are on, earth, mat, whatever. And that's going to protect the wrist. If you have anything going on in the wrist, you want to be on your fists on the first two knuckles. So tabletop, and on inhale we're gonna move the chin and the tailbone towards the sky. On exhale, round the back. Inhale again, chin and tailbone towards the sky. Exhale, round the back. Do a few of those at your own pace. As long as the inhale is full, it really doesn't matter how many times. Quality is more important than quantity. So tuck the toes and the same position. We're still in tabletop, but this time we're gonna incorporate a little bit more of a core. So connect with the core and tighten it. And on inhalation, we're still gonna move the chin and the tailbone towards the sky, but on exhalation, once we round the back, we will lift the knees off of the mat and then round the back and move chin towards the chest. And then inhale back into tabletop with knees on the mat, with chin towards the sky and tailbone towards the sky. Exhale, round the back, chin towards the chest, and lift the knees off the mat. And then again at your own pace, do like a few of those. When you lift up the knees and you exhale, I want you to really, really push the mat away with the hands. Last one. Inhale to tabletop, and as your feet are already tucked, prepare yourself to move into downward facing dog, lifting up the hips high towards the sky. The chest is moving into the direction of the thighs, actively pressing it towards the thighs. Push the mat away with the hands. Begin walking the dog just with the hands towards the left. Paddle, left heel down, right heel down. And then let's walk the hands towards the right. Keep pedaling the feet. Left heel, right heel.
See if you can be actively pushing the mat away with the hands, especially with the left one. Walk towards the middle, regular downward facing dog. If you feel weird about the blood coming into your head, that's okay. We've been inverting for a little bit now. It's good for the blood to go and circulate around the brain to oxygenate it. Inversions are great for that and for balancing the hormonal system and emotional state. Therefore, get into a tabletop and sit on the feet, untuck the toes, move into child's pose. And feel free throughout the class, especially that second part, to get into child's pose anytime. If you feel like you need a break or you need to just regain your breath. So I'm assuming the arms are forward and on the ground, most of the forearms until now. So place the left palm facing down and then the right palm on the top of the left. And you're on the forearms and kind of moving into tabletop, but on the forearms. Elevate left foot behind you. And then move on exhalation, left knee and do sideways, kind of like I'm gonna just move a little bit this way. Fire hydrant to the left. Strong spine and strong core. And then behind you again, inhale. So on this one, you might notice that the breath would be restricted. Just concentrate on the breath going lower and lower. And movement with breath marriage. So inhale, exhale, one movement. Where is the breath? I know here is trying to just stay on the tops of the lungs, but instead really put your intention into helping it go all the way down to the bottom of the belly. And we're gonna switch. So back to tabletop on the forearms and right foot behind you. On exhale, knee towards the right ear on the side. Does that side feel different? It might be, as we did a number on the other one. Or sometimes there is a chronic difference between the sides of the rib cages. Sometimes we breathe more on one side of the lungs. It is a thing. Keep flowing with the breath. Last one, and then find yourself into tabletop on the forearms. Go into child's pose. Extend as much as possible the hands away from the sitting bones, so they're kind of like actively. You can make this pose more resting and more active. I like to make it more active so that way I can always expand the spine more and lengthen it. And how you accomplish that? By anchoring sitting bones towards the feet, and then the fingertips are really aiming forward and away from the sitting bones. And then forehead could be on the mat. And when you're ready, find yourself to regular tabletop, and from there, downward facing dog. Look forward and just shift the weight into plank. Body is flat as a board, strong straight spine, and begin lowering on exhalation, elbows in towards you. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale into plank once again, and then move right arm up towards the sky and turn your entire body towards the right side plank. Here you can make it a little bit more intense if you lift up right leg in the air, or less intense if you place the left knee on the mat. Whatever the pose is, you want to be really thinking about sending the breath into the belly. Look towards the right, fingertips, regular downward facing dog. Not that the last one wasn't regular. Then walk the hands towards the left. Anchoring left heel down as much as you can. And push the mat away with both arms and mainly with the left one. Walk the hands back towards the middle, and we're going to switch on the other side. Inhale into plank. Move left arm up towards the sky. Turn on your left side towards the left, And then again, here you can make it stronger by elevating the left leg in the air, or less strong if you move the right knee towards the mat. Just monitor the breath and breathe. Back to downward facing dog, and this time we're gonna walk it. Walk the hands towards the left, anchoring through the right heel. And then back towards the middle, hands straight forward in front of the feet, and then begin walking the feet towards the hands, or hands towards the feet, whatever. Find yourself into a forward fold. Now, the feet are shoulder distance, and then anchor the toes, maybe spread the toes if you can, and feel coverage from where you're stepping, so from the ground, mat, earth, whatever, and then as much as possible coverage from both of your feet. Begin slowly lifting up one vertebra at a time until you find yourself into a mountain pose, moving palms forward, tucking the tailbone. The shoulders are back and down. Face straight forward, strong as a mountain. Notice again the coverage of the feet, the areas of the bottoms of the feet touching the ground, if they're like evenly distributing your weight, strong as a mountain. Find a point of concentration in front of you, somewhere a couple of meters in front of you would be easier on the ground. A little bit more difficult would be if you stare at something forward and beyond a few meters in the distance. So we will find this point that we will concentrate on something, anything. We'll anchor our attention there. It's going to be our focusing point and anchoring point called drishti. So we begin shifting the weight into the right leg, and then imagine that you grow 3 roots from the right leg, and try to not really collapse to the right leg, but more like strong right leg, strong core, and then begin elevating the left foot off of the mat. Place the left foot somewhere either above or below the knee. You just want to make sure it's not exactly on the knee, and then begin growing the 3 branches, elevating the arms, maybe swaying the 3 branches from the wind,
Maybe moving the three leaves, which are your fingers, by wiggling them. This challenges the balance more. We're gonna exhale into standing split by moving the arms on the earth in front of us as the left leg is gonna shoot straight back up.
And find yourself in forward fold. Same thing, ground both feet. As much as possible coverage from the ground and the bottom of the feet together. And then begin lifting up one vertebra at a time.
Find yourself into mountain pose. Shifting the weight into the left foot, leg, strong left, growing 3 roots, grounding and centering. Find a point in front of you to stare at. And begin elevating the right foot. Anchoring through the left, elevating the right. Just make sure that it's under the knee or above the knee, not exactly on the knee. And growing the tree branches, maybe sway the tree branches from the wind. Extra challenge to the balance. Maybe wiggle the fingers, which are the leaves of the tree branches. Strong, long breaths going into the belly. On exhale, we will move like what we did on the other side, hands towards the earth, right leg up, and we'll be going into standing split. And find yourself in a forward fold. Inhale, hands all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips, lowering. Inhale once again all the way up, extending and elongating in the spine. Always tucking the tailbone when you do that. Exhale, lowering all the way down. Walk the hands forward and feet backwards. Find yourself into a downward facing dog. Look forward, move the left foot forward towards the hands and keep the right heel up this time. Inhaling all the way up, hands above you into high lunge. On exhale, we're gonna straighten the front leg and pull over. Inhale all the way up, back into high lunge. Exhale, we're gonna move the right knee down, lowering. Not really touching the ground, but lowering. Inhale back up into high lunge. Exhale, forward fold with straight front leg. Inhale all the way up, lunge. And then exhale, moving the right knee down. Hands are actively pulled away from the tailbone, away from the feet. Inhale, lunge. Exhale into straight front leg, lowering the hands. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, lowering the right knee down. Inhale, all the way up. Turn to the side, right heel down, warrior two. Forward with the left arm. Back with the right arm. See if your torso is leaning forward or not. You want to be straight up. Exactly in the middle between the 2 feet. And back to lunge. All the way down, facing dog.
This time we're going to move the right foot forward towards the hands, give the left heel up, and elevating on inhalation, launch on this side. On exhale, we're going to straighten the right leg and fold over the right foot. Inhale back into lunge. And then we're going to lower the left knee down. Not all the way down, but like hovering. Inhale back to lunge. And then exhale, forward, strong, straight right leg. Inhale into lunge. I am extra challenged in my balance today. Exhale, left knee down. Inhale back into lunge. Let's do one more last one. Straighten the front leg. Fold over. Inhale into lunge. And lowering the knee. Oops. Inhale yourself back up. And then with me, hands down. Place the right foot back into downward facing dog. Elevate through the right foot behind you and begin making circles with the ankle. Actively pushing the mat away with the hands. Change the direction of the circle. Elongate as much as possible, foot away from the hands. Lowering the right leg and elevating the left. Straight back behind us and as much as possible away from the hands, making ankle rolls. And then change the direction. Find yourself in a downward facing dog and begin to walk the hands towards the feet or the feet towards the hands. Find yourself in a forward fold and then sit next to the feet. Hug the knees towards the chest. Breathe. So we're going to begin lowering here on the spine. Keep hugging the knees. Once you lay down, just keep hugging the knees towards the chest. Moving left and right. Grab a hold of your big toes and happy baby. Moving left and right. So the knees are kind of on both of your sides. Lift up the legs straight up towards the sky. So place the palms down for leverage next to you, and then begin floating the feet behind you, like above and behind. Where is the breath? Focus on the breath and try to maintain it in this next sequence. So you're going to begin moving the feet up more towards above the head and on the top of the head, so lifting up the hips and the lower back. Use the hands for leverage and legs kind of in a plow pose behind you and on top. Where is the breath? Maybe in this one you want to move it on the backs of the legs, not you wanna, but you kind of have a little bit no choice there. But do force it in. Move the hands on the spine to support you, and see if you can walk them up the spine or towards the earth more, so you can begin elevating the feet towards the sky and
find yourself in a shoulder stand at some point. This one very important. Do not move the leg, the neck left or right. You want to be straight, and as much as possible of the weight to be on the shoulders and the backs of the arms, and not so much on the neck. That's extremely challenging if you have a long neck, like I do, and it's one of those things that be very mindful not to move left and right, and also actively push shoulders and backs of the arms towards the earth. Begin floating the feet above. Find yourself into a plow. Where is that breath? Not existing? Barely there? Force it in. Full breath. We'll do one more shoulder stand, lifting up the legs, walking the hands further towards the shoulders. See if you can lift up more and more the feet up towards the sky. And when you're ready, hug the knees. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lowering. Moving left and right, massaging the spine. Grab a hold of the big toes, back to, what was it? Maybe happy, happy baby. Tuck the chin towards the chest and see if you can tuck the tail one more. That changes slightly everything. Moving the knees towards the left and twist right arm back, looking behind the right fingertips and breathe. Full breath. In twist, the breath is restricted, so you might want to force it in. All the way down. Hug the knees towards the chest again. Knees towards the right, hold them down with the left, right arm. And left one goes behind you. Look beyond the left fingertips. Where is the breath? Hug the knees towards the chest, moving left and right. And begin relaxing the entire body, finding a comfortable sitting position, laying position. Why did I say sitting? Laying position with the feet, maybe legs straight, maybe feet together, and palms up towards the sky. Walk the shoulders towards the sitting bones so you can create a little bit more space. And then slightly tuck the chin towards the chest. That will create a little bit more space in the neck. And breathe. Notice the soundtrack of the space, of the moment.
Notice how you feel. Relaxing each muscle, making the different body parts feel like they're not part of our bodies. Relaxing the feet and the legs as though they're not part of our bodies. They become heavy, sinking in the mat. Relaxing the torso and the arms and the hands and the fingers, shoulders. Relaxing all the facial muscles. Smell of freshness. Visualize that mountain top with all the hills and birds around. What matters the most is this present moment right now. That's all we have. So making the best out of it is being really, really present. I encourage you to contemplate on this as you go by your day later on, and contemplate on the past is the past for a reason, and there's no point debating over it. Good to learn lessons, but also it's in the past for a reason. Let it stay there. The future? Well, can't be thinking too much about the future if you are in the present. Come back to your intention from the beginning of the class and repeat it 3 times in your head in present time. If you're ready to float yourself out of this practice, maybe put arms above your head, stretch really good, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, find your way to one side, left or right, and use the help of the top arm so you can keep your spine straight to lift up. Inhale into sitting pose, whatever that might be. And hopefully you keep your intention with you throughout the day and maybe throughout the year or from now on. Namaste, and thank you for practicing with me. I'm grateful. Have a great day.
Bye.